are falling asleep, guys. Oh, we're gonna get down on the floor. Okay. Hello, book besties, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be doing a January wrap-up and a February TBR. Typically, I have been not really doing TBRs because I kind of mood read, but these past 2 months I have been doing it because I have plans due to new releases. So the TBRs are here. I don't know how long it's gonna continue. I usually have a general idea of what books I want to read, but it's never usually like a hard and true TBR, like these are the books I'm reading for the whole month. But these past 2 months, or this month, February and January, are going to be those months. So let's talk about all the books that I read in January. I had 8 books that I wanted to read in my TBR, and I read 6 of them, which honestly I'm very proud of because when I do TBRs, I usually never read most of the books on them. So I'm very proud of myself. I did end the year of 2023 with wanting to do rereads for 2024 due to new releases coming out. And if you could guess the new releases, it's Crescent City 3 and Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. So my reads are based off those books, so you can kind of guess where the TBR and the wrap-up is going. So the first book I read in January was my reread of Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas, which is the last book in the Throne of Glass series. If you don't know what this series is about, it's about our main character, Selena. She is a notorious assassin who works for like the head of assassins, and she ends up being taken away. And then basically the moral of the first book is that the king is doing a tournament basically with a bunch of like criminals, bad guys, assassins, and they're fighting each other to become the king's personal assassin. And so his son, the prince, decides to pick Selena as his champion to fight for the King of Assassins role. And that's where the first book takes off. It goes just completely different. It just completely changes course. The characters you meet, the world building, the relationships, the friendships, the found family, the war, the politics, the magic system, everything about it is so amazing. I can't really talk about this book because it's the last book in like an 8-book series and it's like 1,000 pages, but I love this book so much. It is so good. And rereading it with more of them back to back was just such a wonderful experience. And being able to see like Sarah J Maas's like brain is crazy. The way little intricate details from the first book, second book, third book, every book leading up to this book, and how they're all like put back into the story and how big of an impact they have when you thought it had like no impact, is literally so amazing and wonderful. And seeing everything come together, so good. The heartbreak, the pain, yes, that's you'll get every emotion in this book, but I adored it and it's a 5-star read. I love it. If you haven't read Throne of Glass, I highly recommend it. I think it is my favorite Sarah J Maas series currently, but we'll see because new books be coming out and we never know. But I just love this series. It's more of a heavier on the politics and the war, but still has a romance, found family, and friendships. So I just loved it. Next, I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, which was a reread for me. This book follows Feyre, who is a human girl living in the human side of the world, and there's a wall dividing them from the Fey lands and the fairies that live there with magical powers and magical beings. And essentially the first book, Feyre is hunting and she kills a wolf who happened to be a fairy. And so then another fairy comes in saying, you killed this wolf who's part of my court. Either you die or you can live with me and serve out your bargain by living with me. And that's essentially where the story takes place. If you don't know what the series is about or haven't read it, I don't want to spoil anything for you. It's a very popular series as of right now because the new releases and all of Sarah J Maas books and all the hype it's getting. But I love this series so much. This book was a reread. Not my favorite, of course. I don't think it's really anyone's favorite once you've read the whole series, because once you know what happens in the future books, there are some characters in this book that I'm just like, bye-bye, shoot. I'm waiting for someone else, so I need you to this. But I still love this book overall, and I love there's like trials in this book, magical elements, there's heartache, there's pain, and Reese. But yes, we get little snippets of Reese. I love that, and the ending was just wonderful, but it's a 4.5 star. It's my least favorite probably in the series. Well, there's a novella, so it's like, but like my least favorite. But I still love this book and the series, and I highly recommend. Next, I read A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book in the ACOTAR series, and this book is so good. If you've heard about it, this is like people's favorite book in the series. The character development, the growth, the relationships, the found family in this book are absolutely stunning, wonderful. Again, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I love this book so much. It's so good. The growth, the heartache, the pain, the overcoming. But yes, this book is beautiful. The Night Court, the found family, Valaris, like you get introduced to all of that in this book, and it's absolutely beautiful and stunning, and I love it so much. My second, I think, favorite book in the ACOTAR series. Oh, I gave it 5 stars. 5. Next is A Chord of Wings and Ruin, which is a reread. And again, I've read these books once before, but it was a long time ago. So when I read these books, like if you saw my last video of me doing a reading vlog and I was reading these books the second time, I honestly acted like I didn't know what was going to happen with the way I was reacting emotionally. But it's just so good. It's been so long, and so it was literally so wonderful to reread the series. But this right here is my favorite book in ACOTAR. I adore it. I love fantasy romance because I love the build up, the slow burn in books, but then I love seeing the couple together and like being a power team, and that's what this book is. Seeing the main couple in this book work together, grow together, depend on each other, but still trust each other to be able to fight their own battles and make their own decisions is absolutely amazing. The scheming, the plotting in this book, if you know where this book starts off, I love seeing the little schemings going on that's going through the beginning of this book. It's wonderful. The pain, the heartache, I'm sobbing in this book. Sobbing. It was so wonderful. And I love it. I think I like this one more because it still has heavy on the character development and like the character relations, but it's also heavy on the war, the politics. Seeing the war in this book is just so good. Seeing all the other side characters in this series and seeing them growing and seeing how they all work together, it's really perfection. I think it's perfection. This is a 6-star book for me. And then is A Chord of Frost and Starlight. This is a little novella, and it's really just a fluffy, happy time, but it's honestly deserved. After ACOWAR, they deserve this, okay? I gave it like a 4-star, but it's a novella, so it's like, it's just sweet. It's fun. I liked it after going through the pain that you went through in ACOWAR. Like, this is what we needed. It's in everyone's POV, or I think most of their POVs, so getting some background on like Cassie and Nesta for their next book was nice, and it was just a sweet time. Also, by the way, if you saw my reading vlog, I listened to all these books on audio while reading it. So I did them together, but yeah. And then next I read A Chord of Silver Flames. So this book I read the first part, like not even halfway, a long time ago, like when it first came out, but then I never finished it, and so I reread that part, and then the rest of it, majority of it, was my reading it for the first time. I love this book. I think I give it a 4.75 star because it's not my favorite. Like ACOWAR is still my favorite. This book is more character driven, in my opinion, and more about Nesta and Cassian and their growth, which I loved. It was beautiful, but there wasn't a lot of plot in it. I don't think. There were some plot elements I think would be important for future books, but it wasn't like super focused on the politics or war or scheming as much as it was on Nesta's character and who she was and her growth. So but I love this book. I get a 4.75, but honestly, it might be a tie with Akamath because I feel like those are both like character-driven books. I don't know. ACOWAR is my favorite, but this one's either like tied for second or third. But I love seeing Nesta's development and her growth. I like Nesta. I mean, Nesta frustrated me in the other books, but I still liked her and still saw promise in her, and so I was super excited to get to know more about her and her backstory and like what's in her mind. And this book was so just emotional and moving, and seeing the pain that Nesta's facing and the struggle she's dealing with and how she's overcoming it is so well done, and I loved it so much. So you might not love this book, okay, but I don't know how you couldn't appreciate Nesta's growth after reading this book. And then seeing Cassian like always there for her, never giving up on her, I loved it. And in this book, the girl friendships in this book is literally so heartwarming. I loved it so much. None of the Sarah J. Maas's books I feel like have this type of friend group. Like they have the found family with the members of the court, but in this, Nesta just made friends, just like these girlfriends that are just like ride or die besties, and I loved it. Like there's a scene in here where they have a sleepover, and they're making bracelets. Like, and Nesta and Cassian were just super sweet, super cute. The ending was just so well done. I loved how it all came together, and I'm super excited for next books in this world. I loved it. So that was all the books that I read in January. I loved it. I thought rereading books for the new releases was obviously like a good idea to prep, but also I thought it would be a great start to the new year to just know I'm reading books I'm gonna love and just set me up for success in future months, to just be like really like devouring books. So now I'm gonna talk about my February TBR. Okay, so 2 of these books were books that were on my January TBR, but I didn't get to them. which is fine because they're chunky. They're all chunky that I read. So the first book I plan on reading in February is Crescent City 1, which is a reread. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and it's stunning. I did start this book. I'm on page 20, but I am honestly taking my time because I'm like annotating it to death. Because I'm trying to be a smarty pants and trying to figure out theories. I don't know how that's going to go well because some people remember stuff from all the books, and I'm like, what? Who? What was it? So I don't know how it's going to go with my theory planning, but I just enjoy annotating, so I'm annotating this book, and so this is the first book I'll be reading in February. And then next is Crescent City 2, which is House of Sky and Breath. Again, Barnes & Noble exclusive. I do have the original covers, but I got these, so I'm annotating these. But this I have not read yet, so I'm super excited to get to this one. I can't wait for it. I have nothing to say, but I'm excited to read it. And then my mom got me Crescent City 3, House of Flame and Shadow. It's really so pretty, and it's the original cover, so it matches my other originals. And when it comes out in Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, I'm getting that as well to match my other 3. But then I'm reading this book. It's a chunk. I'm super excited. I have not seen any spoilers for anything, Crescent City 2 or 3. I'm hoping to keep it that way and just read these books. But so yes, my plan for January is to get through Crescent City, reread the first one, and then read the next 2 for the first time. I'm so excited to have books to read by Sarah J. Maas that are new, because I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm done. What is everyone going to do when everyone's done with SJM books? I don't know. But the next books I plan on reading, I'm hoping to rejuvenate me, to not let me slump out with Sarah J. Maas books. And it's also a reread in preparation for a new release. If you can guess, you can guess. But it's Magnolia Parks. I have the original covers, but I'm rereading them with the shoe collection covers to re-annotate them. And then Daisy Hates, which takes place in the same friend group, and at the same time as Magnolia Parks, but it follows Daisy, Christian, and Julian. And then we have Magnolia Parks, A Long Way Home, and Daisy Hates, The Great Undoing, which is the last book that is out in this world. And so then in February, which is the 13th, I think, but I'm not going to be reading by then because there's no way I'm going to be done with all those other books before the new release. But Magnolia Parks, Into the Dark, which is the 5th book in this universe and the last book with Magnolia and BJ POVs. I love Magnolia and BJ so much. I don't know what I'm going to do because after that, like, I truly have nothing. Like, Sarah J. Maas is done, Jessa Hastings done. What am I going to do? I don't know. We're going to figure it out once that time comes. But yes, these are the books I plan to read in February. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So as we know, my goal was to read 8 last month and I read 6. So we'll see how this goes. These Crescent Cities could take me the longest to get through, so hopefully I can get through them and not take the entire month to get through them. If so, that's okay, and then March will be a Magnolia Parks month. Magnolia, March, Magnolia, could work. I would love to get through all these this month. I know these would be quicker reads for me because I've read them before and they're shorter, so we'll see. But this is my plan, these are my hopes, my dreams. We'll see how this goes. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading wrap up in January TBR. Let me know what books you're planning on reading in February, what you read in January, if you read any of the books I've read, if you liked them, what your thoughts were on them, any new releases you're looking forward to. Are you rereading Magnolia Parks, reading it for the first time for the new release? Have you read the new release? No spoilers, please, in the comments for the Crescent City series or Magnolia Parks books. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, like, comment, subscribe. You can follow my bookstagram, which is Janae Reads _ like my YouTube channel, and my book talk is also Janae Reads _ and watch I post more consistently on there. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we can get through some amazing books this month. I hope I get through all these, we'll see. But I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Time to read! Oh, my knee. I put all the books I plan to read like on my coffee table, just sitting there staring at me. It's a bit obnoxious.